just might be the only person in the world that's excited about Google Stadia. Please don't hurt me.
We know that players demand the most responsive experiences from their games.
I hear all the criticisms and complaints about Google Stadia, and in this video, I kind of want to address each of these point by point. My goal here isn't to change your mind about Stadia, but to offer a different perspective, if you will. And then hopefully you'll change your mind. Because let's make no mistake here, Google Stadia is incredible technology. Not only do I think it could be the future of gaming as we know it, but I also think it could be the future of like all technology as we know it. I'll explain what I mean by that later, but let's talk about gaming. Let's go through each major criticism of Stadia one by one, starting with
this level of access and availability represents a huge shift in the gaming world.
So when the Nintendo Switch was announced, I saw a lot of criticism of it on the internet. I heard stuff like, it's gonna be Nintendo's last console, it's not gonna be powerful enough, it doesn't have enough release titles. And of course, as we all know, all of those trolls were 100% right, and the Switch was one of the greatest gaming failures of all time. Oh, what's that? Oh, that wasn't what happened. Wii U. I was thinking about Wii U. Thanks. Got it. I'm seeing a lot of similarities here with Google Stadia. Now, don't get me wrong, there are definitely reasons not to be hyped about Stadia. And I'm not hyped for Stadia, I'm just excited, which is different, I think. But what I think Switch showed us more than anything is that the convenience of going from a console experience to a handheld experience was something that people didn't know they even wanted until they had it. Now that is convenient, but Stadia actually has the potential to be even more convenient. From your TV at home, to the train ride when you're on the way to work, when you're on your Dell laptop at work during your lunch break, to hotel rooms, TVs, when you're out of town. I mean, there really is limitless possibilities here. Stadia can technically work anywhere you have internet. Well, anywhere you have good internet. I mean, it's kind of like the next level of convenience because literally it's just one click and you're playing on basically anything. Also with the Nintendo Switch, it had limited graphical power, but that's not going to be the case with Stadia. According to Google, it's more powerful than any console today, so graphics should be really good, possibly better than like everything. I mean, you know, we'll see. But also with that extra power, this could be the end of loading screens as we know them. Again, even more convenience. I mean, do I carry this phone around with me all day because it's a better experience than like having a nice big monitor with a big keyboard and mouse? No, I carry it around because it's really convenient and people like convenience. I mean, you might be thinking you don't want Stadia right now, but I have a hunch when you try it, you just might change your mind.
Introducing Stadia Pro. It delivers the best of Stadia for just $9.99 per month.
I keep hearing that Stadia is just too pricey. I'm just gonna say this, Stadia is not too expensive. Okay, moving on.
When you're ready to play, the Stadia...
Okay, maybe I should like explain that a little bit. Let's say PlayStation came out with the news that they were launching a brand new state-of-the-art console, and here's the kicker, it's free. And not only that, it's actually gonna be faster than the previous PlayStation 4 Pro that cost, I don't know, are they like $400, something like that? Are you gonna be mad at Sony for charging for the games that you're gonna get to play on your brand new awesome console? No, not at all. You would be like, okay, sure, where do I sign? Give me my free, awesome, powerful new console. So let me ask a follow-up question. Why are people upset with Google for wanting to charge for games on Stadia? Because that is what I just outlined is basically what Google is doing. They're giving a free, powerful gaming experience. You just gotta pay for the games. I mean, I get one aspect of it. I know the rumor was that they were going to be launching a more Netflix-like experience with a bunch of games that you could play for a monthly fee, and that could still come. Actually, Ubisoft did announce that their $15 a month Netflix-like service that is going to give you access to all of their games is coming to Stadia in 2020. So there you go. Right there, you get a Netflix of gaming experience on Stadia. And you might be saying, Titus, this isn't free. Stadia costs $10 a month. I'll just say this, that the $10 a month Pro version includes free games, just like the Xbox Live service or PlayStation Plus service, which also charge a monthly fee, by the way. But there's this other aspect of Stadia that I feel like people just keep glossing over, and that's that there's a free version of Stadia that's going to be coming soon that caps out at 1080p at 60 frames per second. Which, let's be honest, those specs are probably today what you're playing your games at, or perhaps even worse, because some systems can't even hit those numbers on certain games. So yeah, for Stadia's free version, all you have to do is pay for the games, that's it. It really doesn't seem like that bad of a deal to me.
When you're ready to play, the Stadia connects directly to your game running in the Google data center. That direct connection is key to providing the highest possible performance and the best streaming experience.
Now, latency is a concern definitely when it comes to Stadia, which, if you don't know what that means, it's basically the time it takes from you clicking a button and for that button to go all the way across the internet to the Google Stadia servers and to where you see that button action take place on your screen. So yeah, that's a pretty big deal. If latency is an issue, then Stadia will basically be unusable. I get it. Fortunately, Google gets that too, and I don't think they would actually release Stadia if that experience was really all that bad, which I did actually get to try out the beta for Google Stadia late last year, and I'm not really sure if I'm allowed to talk about it, but let's just say, would I be making this video if I found the beta experience terrible? I think you can put 2 and 2 together. And people got to try out Stadia at E3, and from what I heard, it worked. In any case, this is going to vary from person to person and how far you're located from the nearest Stadia center and what type of internet you have. Now, I'm not sure if they will, but I'm sure Google would want to at least give you some sort of demo that you can try out for yourself to see if it'll work for you.
Our highest quality gaming experience is remarkable, with 4K HDR video at 60 frames per second and 5.1 surround sound.
I hear you. A lot of people have data caps, and Stadia will eat through a 1 terabyte data cap in just 60 hours when you run it at 4K, 60 frames per second HDR. But let's put that number into perspective, that 60-hour number. That means, in theory, you could play 2 hours of Stadia every day and not go over your data cap. Now, I'm sure there are some of you that will play a lot more than that on the average day. I don't know, but I know for myself, I maybe play video games 2 or 3 hours a week, and I'm sure there are others out there that don't get anywhere near 2 hours a day. And if that's a real concern for you, you could play at a lower quality. Like, if my math is right, if you play at 720p, that'll get you like 7 hours a day. If that's not good enough, there are a lot of internet providers out there that have ways for you to remove your data caps if you're willing to pay more. I have AT&T, and there's a way that I can get them to remove my data cap altogether, but again, it costs money. And also, don't forget, 5G is coming. With 5G is going to come some competition in the home internet market, and we could see much higher data caps, or possibly even data caps going away altogether for the sake of competition. And this is just a side note, but 5G could also solve the latency issue as well. I saw one report that latency could be as fast as just a few milliseconds, according to an interview I saw on Cnet, link in the description. And if they roll out 5G, that could solve a lot of people's bad internet problems as well. So there you go, 5G could solve 3 of Google Stadia's biggest problems in one fell swoop, which is probably why Google is pushing Stadia now, right before 5G becomes like a worldwide phenomenon.
We're working with hundreds of leading publishers and developers around the world to deliver their biggest and best titles to Stadia. We've lined up an incredible selection of games spanning nearly every genre, including fighting, sports, role-playing games, first-person action, and racing titles, and we're just getting started.
If you're saying that there's no games for Stadia at launch, well, that's just not accurate. There's over 30 launch titles, which isn't a bad start, including some titles that are brand new. They're packing Doom Eternal, Borderlands 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Rage 2. Guys, Farming Simulator 19. Farming Simulator 19, boy! I'm gonna have to try Farming Simulator at some point. I've never played it, but I'm sure it's great. I'll also counter that argument with Nintendo Switch's launch titles weren't all that impressive either. There was just one major one that mattered, Zelda. I don't think the lack of exclusive titles are gonna doom a platform, but if Stadia can't get a competitive catalog, then yeah, it's in trouble. But I don't think Google is going to have any problems getting games onto Stadia. I think the second that developers realize the power and convenience of Google Stadia, where someone can be watching a game, there's a buy it and play it right now button right underneath it, and someone can go click and poof, you're just right in the game. That's powerful. That one feature is going to sell a lot of games. No downloads, no waiting, just one click. I could see YouTube ads where it's like, hey, just forget the trailer, here's the game. One click and you're in the game. To me, it's just like a no-brainer, and Google has the resources to advertise underneath every single gaming video. Click here and play it right now. Let's just be honest, devs don't really care what platform you buy your games on, they just want you to buy their games. And I think game companies are gonna leap at the chance because that allows people to buy their games insanely fast. And let's be honest, speed sells.
Stadia has been years in the making across different Google teams. Google's mission has always been to make information more accessible for everyone.
Okay, here's the biggie. What if Google shuts down Google Stadia because it's not immediately successful? I'll just say this, Google has never canceled any project. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Never ever. Except for Google+, Google Wave, Nexus Q, Inbox by Gmail, Google Talk, Google Spaces, Project Aura, Hangouts. In fact, there's a whole website that tracks all the projects that they've canceled every year. They're actually cataloged by year, and there's a lot. Okay, so maybe they don't have the best track record here. My gut tells me that if Google sticks with this vision of Google Stadia, it can make it at least at some point in the future. And if not, if it fails and Google cancels it, I think they will at least give people game codes for the games they bought for other platforms like Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, etc. I just don't think Google will want to burn people that bad. I mean, like, in thinking about this video, I can't think of one time where Google has like just killed off a product and just ripped people off and just said, oh, better luck next time. The only thing that comes to mind when I think about that is the Nexus Q, which if you don't know what that is, that was like this overpriced TV streaming device that Google announced before Chromecast. And before it was released, they basically canceled everyone's pre-orders. And they said to the people who pre-ordered this, we're just gonna give you the Nexus Q for free for the inconvenience. Now, I don't know if they ever actually did fulfill that promise. If you did pre-order the Nexus Q, could you let me know in the comments if they ever did give you the Nexus Q for free? I'm actually really curious about this. But I just think that Google cares way too much about the reputation to burn people like that by being just like, oh well. But keep in mind, that's just my opinion. I can't speak for Google. I am not a Google representative in any way.
Thanks for watching. I can't wait for you to experience Stadia for yourself.
I've been trying to think of why I'm excited, and I guess the reason why I'm excited about Stadia is its potential. I see like E3 next year where PlayStation and Xbox announces their brand new consoles are gonna have, I don't know, 20 teraflops of power, and they're gonna come out at the end of the year and they're $500. And Google's like, hey, oh, that's nice. You know what, today we're gonna be raising the power of Stadia to 30 teraflops, and oh, it launches right now. I mean, that's just amazing potential. We'll see how good Stadia is when it comes out. I have one pre-ordered, and you better believe I will be putting out a review as soon as I get my hands on it. I might even do a live stream with Google Stadia, which is kind of a first for the channel, if I can figure out how to get Stadia live streaming properly. But if I can, let me know in the comments if you're interested in me doing that sort of thing. And from E3, I actually heard good things about the Stadia controller. I have one of those coming along with my pre-order as well. I will be sure to review that too. So subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss those videos. Now, I don't know if Google Stadia is the future, but I feel strongly that cloud gaming is, and there are a bunch of players coming at it right now strong, including Microsoft with xCloud. Now, I've heard people say that they think that Microsoft xCloud is gonna totally blow Stadia out of the water, and I guess it's because they have that gaming pedigree and gaming experience and those exclusive titles. But I don't think it's that simple. Here's the thing, I actually think that Microsoft has a lot to lose if cloud gaming is the future, because they make so much money off of the Xbox sales and PC gaming. So I'm not sure if they're really going to be pushing how amazing cloud gaming is when they have these other platforms that are making them tons of money. I really only see Microsoft pushing xCloud really hard if Google Stadia is super successful and they have to just kind of push theirs to try to compete with Google. But that's just my opinion. Please let me know what you think about xCloud in the comments below. But why I'm so excited about this revolutionary technology isn't just for gaming, but for like everything. I see a day coming, and I think it's basically inevitable, where my laptop, my phone, my TV, everything in my world is just powered by the cloud, and they're just tightly integrated with one another. I mean, if the cloud is powering all your devices, you could do crazy things. Like I could maybe in theory edit 8K video on my phone. I mean, I see a future where I could just leave all my technology at home, and then I could, I don't know, be on like an airplane and put my thumbprint on the screen, and it's just like, poof, there's all your files, programs, games, movies, everything is just right there where you left off. It just sounds like a really fresh and freeing future. The way I see it, Stadia is only the beginning of this type of technology, and I think ultimately it could change everything. But anyway, that's what I think, but I'm sure many of you disagree, so let me know in the comments below what you think. I would love to get your insight on what the future of technology is gonna be like and Google Stadia is gonna be like. I'm so fascinated with this stuff. I would love to hear what you have to say about it, and I would love to debate with you and all that good stuff, so just let me know below. And if you would, please let me know what you thought of this video with a like or a dislike, and subscribe and enable notifications so you can see more tech content just like this. Anyway, I guess I'll see you next time.